Hey guys, this is Game Cow playing Touhou the Genius Cypher. I was recording in the morning, technically, for some reason. I guess I've just got time for that today. So, last time we basically cleared out all of the right hand side and, you know, got ourselves the key, got the chest and everything all sorted out. And did find the Orichalcum Shard because I forget exactly where that is. But this time, we're going to go ahead and do the final bit here. I'm probably just going to leave it as the final bit because, well, I haven't played through this section already again. I really probably should have, but there would have been too many enemies, I would have gotten drops that I couldn't keep, etc, etc. So, yeah, we're just going to fumble our way through this last bit, and with the amount of stuff there are a couple of new enemies to deal with. One of which, if we find it, we are going to die to, like, explicitly, because I don't have Breath Reflect on me, but oh well. Probably gonna die to the other special one as well, but whatever, man. This is what we have to deal with. So, we go through here, and we find ourselves in this weird section with a door and a buzzer sound. So, obviously, this and this are connected. But in order to make that trigger, we have to explore the rooms on the side. So if we do that, you see there's another face there, which seems a bit weird when you first go through. There's no face on this side though. So yeah, you might wonder what's the deal.
And we shall find out fairly soon. I actually took off my right attack here because I didn't really think too much about seeing the unsealed cord still, but I put in shield walls so that I can, at least once every few turns, I can reduce physical damage taken. Also, I really should have healed before coming in here because my MP and stuff, I changed the Julie around a bit, so she's back to her, you know, critical hits and stuff like that. And I totally forgot I did that, so I need to go ahead and change that real quick. Like, I need to go back and heal before we go too deep in here, but at the same time, I think we can survive. Like, it's not the end of the world to have a little bit less MP and bomb usage out of the Julie for a while, and yeah, that's basically where we're at. Of course, meditation slash, as usual, going first in place of what I actually would want, which is the buff, but oh well. Those night sweeps are really random. Really random. And I don't trust myself just physical attacking this guy. I'm going to go ahead and shout for it anyway, and yeah. Everybody else can physical attack, but I do feel like I need the damage of these two skills here. There we go.
So yeah, that's, yeah, more levels and power and stuff, which I never really talk about now, but hey. So these rooms are oddly laid out when you look at them to begin with. There are 4 rooms. They've all got, oh my goodness.
They've got these as well. They've all got a, I guess, particular way around them that's not, it's not too bad. Like, there's multiple ways in and out of most of them, so that's okay. But you'll see why that is fairly soon. And we've worked, wow, good job, man. These fights can actually be really good for experience if you if you can survive them long enough to let them multiply a fair bit. These fights can give you a lot of extra experience, which is kind of fun. But obviously, at the same time, they get annoying to deal with when you don't have stuff to deal with them, but I do naturally enough, so yeah. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that there are still a lot of them, and they can make more of them. If every single one of them uses Cry, then you can get like 12 enemies on screen at once. I think that's the most that you can have. So yeah, it gets pretty silly. But we have all, wow, we actually get a thing off them too. We have all sorts of stuff to deal with them here, so it's not as
big a deal. Simply because we have Slayer, we have on multi-hit moves, we have Byaku's Spotted Scroll, very nice. We have multiple thunder hitting attacks, which is obviously quite potent, so yeah. I don't remember if there are any well, we do have the new one of the new enemies here. I don't remember if there are any things in this, items in this part of the stage. There might well be, but anyway, we have the Spirit Tortoise here. Does pretty much what you would expect from the turtles at this point, but it also has the annoying trait of being able to use refresh, which is a full heal, basically. This thing is ultra healer, and it makes these fights annoying, which is why we focused a bit more on water here. Hopefully it's going to use Diva Stance so that I can have multi-water stuff here. As it does, so it's going to get hit by all the water hits here, which is really good. It should die from that, actually. At least I hope so. Maybe not, because its defense is that good. Yeah, okay, it does, because Patchouli critical hit on one of the attacks there. Patchouli is just a monster against that thing. So, now that we've dealt with that, Thunder should probably be my next bet, so that I can get rid of the Triton, and then we can have a go at getting rid of the Ammonites. As we explored last time, that it doesn't actually go ahead and counterattack unless it gets hit with a fire move. So that's pretty cool. Ouch. That hurt quite badly. Yeah, you can just see how much damage that Unseelie Court does. You know, that was a shielded Satori, and she still took a, you know, rather large chunk of her HP there. Getting chunked is not a good idea. You should probably not do that. Anyway, we're gonna buff magic attack here as well, so that we can just have this going. With the physical attack down, this thing shouldn't really pose too much of a threat anymore. And it doesn't really pose a threat if it's dead, and that's always good, right? But I guess we did get a knife from that as well, which is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and Artful Sacrifice here. I don't know if I can really afford to use the bomb, to be honest, but I'm going to do it anyway because I can. And we'll hit with fire attacks, obviously, and nobody needs healing, so I guess you just stab with the knife, because you can. So it's kind of difficult to manipulate the land back towards fire against this guy, because it can just counterattack the attacks. And it got reflected too, that's kind of funny. Yeah, so it just kind of counters with water, so it's a bit difficult to go ahead and actually get water out of favor once it starts. So you might even consider bringing active land on, or not active land, the is it active elemental, the one from Patchouli that I forget. Active land and active elemental are two different skills, but the one that increases land in favor of something. And there we go, there's the 605 HP, and we also get the Mambel, which is pretty cool. I don't think it's better than the Orichalcum dagger, but it's a little bit better in attack, like 4 points better, but it has a Slayer against a fair few enemies, which does make it better in combat, that's for sure. But I like the MP drain here, and silence is a pretty good element. But yeah, you have a lot of Slayers against stuff that the what's it's called, the Kusanagi does not slay. So that's kind of cool. If Sanai was a little bit more proficient in physical attack, this would actually be really, really solid. But yeah, it's still cool. And if you, for some reason, didn't find the Orichalcum dagger, definitely consider that weapon. So, with that said, let's just show off the areas here. Just trying to go through
the general layout so that you can see what we are dealing with here. Tsunami cannot be used if Waterland is not in favor, so there's, it's a tricky skill to use, but it's a lot more powerful than Acid Storm, and I want as much power as I can get against these turtles, so yeah. I think these turtles do also have, oh wow, I didn't have poisonous, okay. These turtles also do have some shielding capabilities against magic as well, so keep that in mind. It's not the easiest of things, I guess, to defend against that way, but oh well. It can defend whatever it wants, basically, that is the thing to note. However, it does not always go ahead and use its Deeper Stand, because it does do that as well. Refresh basically gives it a full heal, and it's really obnoxious. So this thing can be tough to take down, just because it lasts for so long. Waterland is really heavily in favour at the moment, though, so we should be able to do a decent bit of damage to it, although you can see from the fact that it really isn't that weak at the moment, that it doesn't take too much damage from attacks in general. Which is just kind of annoying, you know? And if it just decides to use Refresh every turn, then these fights can take a long time, and yeah, it's not so fun. You know, I might actually change out Tsunami though, looking at it, because it doesn't seem like it's doing excessively high amounts of damage here, and it does cost a heck of a lot of MP. Satori's basically very much down on MP right now, so I might switch that, we'll see. And yeah, this time it just decided not to use Deeper Stand, so there you go. It
doesn't always do what you would expect it to. So yeah, we're gonna have to go back and heal before taking on the quote-unquote puzzle of this place. Oh, there is a box. Okay, Mithril Chainmail. What does that do again? Is that resistance? That might be resistance. Oh, bad variety wears off faster. That's pretty cool, actually, but not cool enough to replace Sanai's armor. Even though Sanai's defense is really bad at the moment, her armor is still kind of important. Anyway, we have another new enemy here. This is the other main, the new basic enemy, and it is actually really annoying because it can do a lot of nasty stuff against you. because it's super fast, it gets 2 actions per turn, and it has swoop as a thing, and just lots of daze-based attacks in general. So try and get resistance up against it if you can. I'm just going to shield wall for the physical defense to try and just not take damage here this first turn. Although I didn't actually remember when Wind Breath was physical or magic. I think Wind Breath is actually magic, but which is why it got reflected there. But yeah, Alice's shield is still pretty good that way. So it has 100 evasion. It's pretty difficult to actually hit with physical skills, but it's weak to thunder, so it can be taken out somewhat easily that way. Just watch for the double attacks and, you know, like swoop and stuff like that, because that can get annoying. Because daze is not fun. You know, flinching is never a good thing, and yeah. But in a fight like this, where I can just go, hey, I have electric-based attacks, your point is invalid. It's happy-go fun times. So yeah, that's the Gryphon. It has a fair amount of experience associated with it, which is pretty good. And yeah, that's all she wrote about a Gryphon. Not too spectacular an enemy, just really fast and really annoying to deal with. So that is a good show of most of the stuff. There is actually a box for the Rage Choker too. That's nice. Does it give more attack than Strength Ring? Yes, it does. So there you go. Replacement for that too. Physical attack plus 30, always solid. You can go through this bit here to get back to the start, and then there is actually a way of going up to the left as well, but we'll see that when we come back, because I want to quickly go and heal first, so that is what I shall do. And yeah, well, you know, I need MP basically. Once again, you do really want to go all out in these fights, so you will be healing often. It's a little bit annoying that MP healing is very, very restricted in this game. Like, you know, there are a couple of methods. Not everybody can heal their MP, actually. There are a few characters that just aren't able to do it. So, let's finally discuss the actual gimmick here. So, we saw at the start in this bit that there is a creepy face guy. And when we go into a room that has a creepy face guy like at the front of it, at the entrance of your door, that creepy face guy will light up. And there, I'm not going to bother doing this fight. I don't think there's too many different elements here for me to want to deal with. But yeah, you can see there are lots of these scattered around, and it gets kind of weird. Also, more enemies I do not want to deal with. This place is just far too full of enemies, but we've already gone over my nuances with that before, so I do not need to bother with it again. But essentially, your end goal for this place is to light up all the creepy faces. So, I mean, they're not really creepy faces, but you know what I mean. Like, they seem kind of creepy to me. Before I go any further, I'm actually going to switch this back out. I think I'm just going to try Frost, because I think Frost will do more damage than Acid Storm, which is why I want to replace it. But you see, yeah, we've gone through this door now, so this face would be lit up. But if we were to not, you know, like go back through a different door, it would not be lit up again, you know. But you see, this face is not lit up because we went through a door that didn't have a face in front of it. In order to get through this bit here, we have to light up all the faces. And that means we have to consecutively go between rooms that have a face in front of them. Going from the top right to the top left room does not remove any of the face stuff here. So that is our goal, and this bit stumped me for a while when I was trying to do it originally, because I could not for some reason get the thing to trigger. There was always this one door that would decide it would just not want to cooperate, and it would be really annoying. So I think the way you go around this is, obviously you've got to trigger these three in like this sort of fashion, and that should have should allow you to now cross to the other side and grab the rest of them from there, if I remember this rightly. Also, heck yeah for wind blowing my door open, if you heard that. That's fine. I need to close that real quick though. Oh man. Real life interruptions. How about that? Oh, well now my stuff is all tangled up. Oh, this is the technical difficulty show. So, let's progress to the other half of this area, and we can try and finish this off. And hopefully not get caught too much in fights. You know what? I don't want to do this fight. We've shown off how annoying that turtle can be. I just don't want to bother. It's annoying and it smells funny. I think it does drop something I would want though. Dang it. Nope. Too many nasty breath attacks going on in this one. Like Euros' Thunder Breath is really obnoxious, and yeah. It just isn't fun, so we're not going to bother that. You see, this is where it gets a bit weird, because this one's already lit up, and we haven't actually gone to that area yet, so I don't quite know why it would be lit. Because, right, we haven't gone through that door, so it just seems a bit, like, odd for that to be lit up. But now we have this one done. I think we need to go back up and around, so that then we can trigger this, and hopefully when we go back down here, so long as you go through a door with a face, it should be fine. But you can see it's not actually done. This is where it gets confusing. I don't know exactly how this triggers. And this is why I wanted to do this as a separate thing, because I went through all the doors that had all the faces, and for some reason it didn't work. So yeah, this happened the first time I played this too, and I just don't actually understand how this bit works. So we're gonna end up fumbling around this for a while until we make it work, and that probably means a speed up at some point. But hey, I wonder actually if you need to come out through the door again. That might be a thing, that we have to come back out through this door. I'm wondering if that is actually it, because you could do that. Oh, the Garboggle, please don't damage net. Thank you. I do not want to fight that fight because it's boring and we've done all the enemies there before. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's actually it, that we need to come back out through that door, because it's totally possible to do. And if that's all it takes, then that'll be fine. This is what, you know, just looking at it randomly for running away from fights and stuff, that's usually where you're going to lose most of your lives. Because if you actually do the fights, then you generally won't lose lives as often, you know? But yeah, it's when you start running from the fights and you end up having to take all of the attacks of all the enemies that you generally start losing characters. And that's what you've got to look out for, really, when it comes to keeping stuff alive there. So was that all it was? Yeah, that was all it was. Okay, so I got confused over nothing. But now we've made, you know, this global creepy face guy lit up, so we can end the stage. Because here is a healing circle, and that, I think, is actually it. I mean, I can F12 if this is a thing. So yeah, that is actually the end of the stage. So with that said, this has been GamerCow playing Touhou the Genius of Sapphiros, and next time I reckon we're gonna kill enemies in this place, because there are 2 encounters that we didn't find in this second section, both of which I probably want to slightly specialize my party for. And of course there's a lot of other enemies to deal with. I can show them off here actually, whilst we're sort of finishing off stuff, so I can show exactly what items and stuff we can get. So The Gryphon Hero stab and electric, as the most birds and stuff are weak to. Obviously immune to earth. Interestingly, it's resistant to strike, light, and dark, which is weird. But yeah, it's resistant to strike, so Moko's not so good against it. But yeah, Nimble Ring 3, it's agility, so that would just be speed and evasion, which is not terrible, but I don't think it drops, it increases stats enough to be too worth it. This thing is easy, but it's also not interesting when it comes to item drops, and it's a regular plant, so, you know, resistant to stab, that's kind of there. Water crystals are quite good though, so these are kind of worth killing. You know, they're not top priority, but they're worth it if you can stomach the Arctic breath, so there is that. Iron is good, I guess I could kill these, but not top priority. Weak to light, but weaker to fire. It's kind of cool. The Skull Smasher, if I remember rightly, is something that might be worthwhile, but it's not. At this point, you should really be using character-specific weapons, I guess, for most characters. So, if you haven't already been doing so. Which makes this a little bit less important because it's an axe, if I remember rightly. I believe it's an axe that ignores defense, so like medium rate. So we'll see if that's actually the case. But this also drops Blank Scroll. It's kind of interesting that Byakugan gets a couple of enemy drops stuff in this stage. Oh, Mount Horai Shell. Oh man, that immune to everything. This guy is super resistant to physical attacks, so you do need water magic if you're going to take this thing down. 600 physical defense with almost immunity to stab and very strong slash resistance. You're not breaking this guy with physical attacks ever. I'm surprised it's not weak to strike actually. That, you know, strike, blunt damage, breaking shells would make sense, but I guess its shell is too strong at this point for that. So, yeah, magic is the only way to go against it. Fire crystals are pretty good, but again, don't really prioritize these at the moment. Trapezahedron's nice, but yeah, hunk of iron as its shield. Some of these shields, names and stuff are kind of fun, I guess. But 700 physical defense is, yeah, impregnable, basically. It's actually weaker, it is weaker to earth than electric, but obviously a lot of the enemies it comes in contact with Talus is they also have electric weakness, so you know you'll usually end up hitting it for electric, but it is weaker to earth, so that's kind of fun. Like I've said before, the World Olympics Flyer is a 75% slash resistant item, kind of like the full body cushion we got before, so I definitely want that, but it's notoriously hard to get. We've already killed 12 of them and got nothing, so yeah, it's a really annoying item to get hold of. Giant's armor, I don't remember what that does. It's heavyweight armor of some sort, I guess. Probably not as good as the resist all physical stuff that we got, but it'll be another armor of that caliber, and therefore would still be good to get because we'll need a lot of stuff that way later on. Resistant to all physical is kind of interesting. Electric crystal is kind of cool. I don't remember who drops the Earth crystal, but I'm sure we'll find an Earth crystal in here somewhere as well. Oh, yeah, it's you. Duh. So yeah, these two not quite so important, although I do want to try and get Thunderclap at some point. So that'll probably come later. I don't need to get it immediately, so there's that. But yeah, dragon stuff is always difficult to take on. At least they're weak to electric, and quite weak to electric at that, so yeah. But no physical defense does help, like despite having 50% resistances to stuff that way, no physical defense is very good for, you know, your sake. And you can also use Sakuya with her two-handed sword tree for slash resistance -2. I believe that's how this sort of thing works, so if the opponent has resistance to that element, you know, slash in this case, then it would cut that resistance down. It doesn't make enemies weak to slash, it just reduces their resistance to it. So Sakuya could hit this dragon without having any resistance impeding her, which is kind of cool. This thing is completely boring. There's a reason I haven't really wanted to fight this thing unless it's been mandatory, because it doesn't drop anything useful. Neither does this guy really. The shards are okay, but you know, you need 4 shards for a crystal, and there are enemies in here that can drop the crystals, so yeah. The ruby buckler is a physical shield. That's one that we've had before, so yeah, it's very good against physical. We've already got the man bell, so I probably won't be fighting this thing too much anymore. Same with Backfire, the Rod of Penitence is something we have already got, so I don't need that. Likewise, although we are forced to fight Garbangles basically because it's difficult to run away from them, but we don't need to fight them for a drop, so there's that. Elemental Spheres are pretty good. They're kinda difficult to get hold of. I don't believe there's a quest to get them in post-game, so yeah, they can be tough to get, so definitely kill these guys if you can. And that is all the enemies that we have seen so far for this particular stage. There are 2 others that are basically mini-boss enemies in this last section, and we shall try and deal with them next time. So, this has been GamerCow, finally, once again, playing Touhou the Jin Sapphiros, and next time, we shall go ahead and finish up with killing a whole bunch of dudes in the Divine Temple. So until then, take care.